Hello, my name is Roxanne Short, and this is my presentation on delegation and conflict management. The conflict happened in a huddle where an employee named Joe brought up a particular case between two of his coworkers, Kate and Joy. Kate and Joy had a miscommunication when they were using the messenger on their computer about a patient who had been waiting in the lobby longer than she should have in the outpatient setting. Kate lashed out at Joy that day, and Joy's feelings were hurt. The patient was taken care of in the end, but there was still some uneasiness between Kate and Joy. After a few days, Kate and Joy let it go and carried on as if nothing happened. But to keep the peace in the department, Joe felt like it needed to be discussed, and he didn't want them to resent each other. So in the huddle, things kind of got heated. Joy and Kate yelled at each other, and Joy ended up walking out. In this instance, the manager, Amanda, had to be a different type of leader for Joy than for Kate. When she took Kate aside, she talked to her about leveraging differences, maintaining collaborative relationships, and communicating effectively. Amanda wanted Kate to understand that yelling and lashing out was unacceptable. Joy, who is a timid, quiet person whose feelings get hurt easily, Kate needed to be mindful of that. And when Amanda spoke to Joy, she had to be more gentle and soothe her, and she let her know that Kate's behavior was unacceptable, and that she needed to speak up if there was an incident and discuss it with that person. In the end, Amanda brought Kate and Joy together and was a moderator for them, and they were able to work out their differences. To facilitate conflict resolution, confrontation should be the first step. Employees should be encouraged to handle their own issues face-to-face. Messenger and texting is not the best way. Things can get misconstrued and people can misunderstand each other. So face-to-face is the best option. Third-party consultation, if it can't be resolved between the two people or group of people, then a manager or someone above them may be brought in. Behavior change, if it's seriously dysfunctional, the conflict, then some behavioral education may be needed. Also, responsibility charting, letting the employees know their responsibilities clearly, what's expected of them, could be helpful. A structure change is an extreme when you would transfer or discharge an employee from the department or rearrange the structure of the department. Soothing one party, that's only a temporary fix. It does need to be addressed after the fact. Negotiation is a form of compromise. Day-to-day conflict can be resolved with negotiation. You need to know as a manager where to start, what the trade-offs are, and the bottom line. Be mentally prepared when going into a negotiation with employees. Have all your facts. You need to be a good role model and maintain composure, but be assertive. Be looking for hidden agendas and avoid destructive negotiation techniques, name calling. You should restate the agreement at the end of the negotiation and also have both parties or all parties sign it and agree to it in writing. Destructive techniques during negotiation would include ridicule, ambiguous questioning, flattery, sadness, helplessness, and aggressively taking over. The manager should be aware of these before the negotiation and have strategies and ideas to overcome them. Another scenario regarding delegation in a department. In a certain department, there is one registered nurse, an RN, 3 licensed nurse, LPNs, and 2 medical assistants. Some of the tasks in this department include taking vitals, updating med lists, starting IVs, providing patient education about certain procedures that patients might have, discharge instructions, So the RN should use the 5 rights of delegation when assigning tasks to the staff members and keeping in mind their scope of practice. The RN, LPN, and MAs all have different scopes of practice. The RN should take the education and task. LPNs and MAs are not, that's not within their scope to give education to patients and document that they gave education. The IV insertion, if the LPN is IV certified, she can definitely do the IV insertion, otherwise it would be the RN. The LPN and the MA can both perform vitals and update medication lists if they've been trained and according to their knowledge base. Sufficient patient information should be given to all the staff before they initiate a task. The 5 rights of delegation. For the right tasks, you want to ensure that you're delegating to a specific patient and that the patient is, that the task for the patient is what the patient needs. The right circumstance, it should be the appropriate patient setting, and the person doing the task should have all the available resources that they might need. The right person, the delegator is delegating the right person for the task, and when they make sure that the task is performed on the right person also. So the right person for the job and the right person that it's being performed on. The right direction and communication would be clear and concise direction, including the objective of the task. The limitations and expectations should be set forth. The right level of supervision is required for appropriate monitoring, intervention, evaluation, and feedback when the task is completed. Delegation errors. Under delegating is when a manager may be overwhelmed with too many tasks, but they feel like they just need to do it all themselves because it's faster to do it that way, and they'll make sure it gets done right. But if you take the time to teach someone, in the end, it will become faster for the person. Over delegating becomes dangerous because then it's hard to keep up with the many tasks that you have delegated and who you delegated it to. Improper delegating is when any of the 5 rights of delegation are not followed. Creating a healthy work environment. For a healthy work environment, all of these words could be included. You want the work environment to be, as a whole, satisfying, empowering, have goals for your staff, make sure that it's a safe place for them to work. They should feel safe, not only physically, but mentally as well. They should feel that they can come to you. You should be supportive of your staff, and they'll be supportive of you. Giving positive reinforcement, having compassion, forgiving while also keeping policies in place, and it should have an aura of integrity. To be a great leader, you should have compassion, forgiveness, and gratitude towards your staff, and be graceful. The work environment should bring a sense of presence and integrity into the daily work of the staff members. They should feel proud to work in that department. Leaders should focus on creating a healthy workplace culture. A healthy culture brings greater engagement from your staff, creativity, they'll come up with ideas, and less unresolved conflict. They'll feel comfortable approaching you and other staff members. And this is my reference slide. Thank you for listening.